Thank you. First order of business is July meeting minutes for the retirement board.
I'll make the motion, we approve the minutes from the July 2026 meeting.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Jay, are you gonna sit back there? Or are you gonna come join the meeting?
Now I will sit back here as IT support. I ensure that my numbers match Rob's. I want deposits, interest like every month. I think there was only one payout. I'm not sure why it was split in it, unless that's two different Williamses. I don't know, but
Yeah, that is interesting.
that's the way it is. I don't know why it was done that way, but that's the way it was done. And there's your bottom line for the end of July, 2026.
It's because there was a mistake, so I corrected it.
There was
Oh.
a mistake and it was corrected.
Hey,
No harm, no foul.
mistakes happen, but correcting them is most important. So, other questions for Jay? Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I also thank the treasurer for attending today.
And for being IT support.
No, I don't thank him for that, because I know how bad he would actually be at IT support.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So, Rob?
Not for the public record.
Okay, like Jay said, his report matches mine in terms of the participant contributions and payouts, monthly retiree benefits, and the ending balance on that checking account. Well, it's actually savings, that bank account is 134, 341, 93, just like his report. Market value wise, this month we were down $347,000 from the prior month, so it's kind of like, a couple months up several hundred thousand, then this one was down, but we're still at 52,500,000, so still doing pretty well.
I'll note that that's still up about 8 million from last year, so
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
unless anybody has any questions, that's all I know.
Motion to approve Rob's report.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Let's see here. Darlene's retirement is on there, and then 5 payouts.
Yeah,
Nothing super huge there, right?
no, it was just cleaning up, like reminding people that had left fairly recently that they still have money there.
Okay. Nothing under old business. New business, obviously with what's in there, I knew we were gonna need some cash. What do we have left on our ARC?
We still have, let's see, what's 750, so probably like 400, but I'd have to look at the
Okay,
exact.
so we can do another month and we're still,
Yeah, we'll do another 250 and then
okay,
I'll figure out what the remainder is.
okay.
I'll make that a form of motion.
I'll second that at the 250 number.
So we're making a motion to contribute 250,000 to the retirement. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anything for the good of the order in retirement? Motion to adjourn retirement.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All yours, Tim.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We'll now move on to the Board of Commissioners meeting. We will dispense with the Pledge of Allegiance as we just covered that. First item will be to approve the minutes of our previous meeting, which was August 11, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
And now we'll go back to Controller Edwards for the approval of the bills.
The general fund, $6,655,463.45. Hazmat, $43.56. 911, $5,294.86. Hotel tax fund, $301,466.78. CDBG, $30,950. Domestic relations, $6,528.43. And children and youth, $26,669.48. For a total of $7,026,416.56.
Do I have a motion to approve the bill list substantial as it is provided by Controller Edwards?
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Give us a moment while we sign. Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Wish your wife a happy birthday
You
from
just
the
beat me to that. I
commissioners.
noticed that this morning on Facebook. So.
And we'll move on to personnel issues. Listed are personnel changes for the commissioner's approval. Under new hires, we have a deputy sheriff under the sheriff's department effective 8/17/2026. A part-time secretary 2 on Veterans Affairs effective 8/31/2026. No transfers, separations, and retirement. We have a telecommunicator at 9/11 effective 8/15, 911 effective 8/15/2026, and a custodian under the commissioners effective 8/18/2026. I have a motion to approve these personnel matters as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
I would like to note it is good to see sheriff's deputies are in short supply statewide. I'm glad to see Sheriff Hawkins working on filling those ranks of deputies.
Agreed.
And we will now move on to public comment. As is our practice, we have public comment preference given to Clearfield County residents. A total of 20 minutes of public comment will be available. And we ask that everyone please state their name and stand for public comment. Mr. Glass will keep track of time. Do we have any public comment?
I'm the only Clearfield person. Hi, William Tessmeyer. You guys probably know me by now. I guess I'm trying to figure. I just came straight from work, so I haven't had a chance to really think about what I was gonna say. But I spent the weekend at the Grange Fair. I was at a couple different tables. Spent a little bit of time with the Democrats, spent a little bit of time with my wife's, and I spoke to a couple people who were really scared. I had one young man, he had 2 kids with him. He was saying he's afraid he has 2 brown-skinned kids who are going to grow up in this country, who don't quite look like they belong. Look maybe a little too Hispanic. They don't look like they belong. He doesn't feel like they're going to be safe. And I wanted to tell him that I could guarantee their safety. And I don't think I could. And I know that you guys have said this is a federal issue, not a state issue. But I disagree. I believe it's a local issue. I believe these policies stem from local small towns. What builds these policies is the people, and the people who live in these areas, the people who live in this country. And that's why I think coming before you matters, because we gain visibility. And I know it's kind of obnoxious. It's kind of obnoxious to use a small town like forum as our speaking point, but it's necessary. People listen to you guys. You guys are leaders in this community. I've seen your comments on Facebook, Tim. I see you get 300 likes. You know, I know people are listening to you. Your opinion matters to these people. And you can change people's minds. You can affect people at a very deep level. Like, I think all of you guys, so you guys lead this community. And I think you guys need to help your community. I see the hatred, I see the anger, I see the fear of the migrant, of the other. People are terrified. And I think you see that expressed in anger, but I think the mask of fear is anger. As men, we're not allowed to be afraid. Like, we're not allowed to be scared for our jobs. We have to be angry for our jobs. We have to be protective. Because I think people are afraid. They're afraid to lose their jobs to migrants. And so they're so desperately turning their hatred against them that I think this region is infecting us. I see the pain, I see a lot of sadness in Clearfield, and I think it's a beautiful area. And I think, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of trying to confront the whole reality that this area is part of the system that inflicts pain upon people. And it inflicts pain upon our local residents, it inflicts pain upon our nation. And you guys are leaders in this community, and you guys can change that. I guess that's my comment.
Thank you.
no one else from Clearfield County. Okay. Good morning, commissioners, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak. My name is Dawn Shields. I wonder, have you seen GEO's second quarter financial report that just came out on August 6th? The second quarter 2026 revenue increased 15% to $732.1 million. Net income increased 63% to $47.5 million. George Zoli, GEO's chairman, chief executive officer, and founder, said, "We are very pleased with our strong second quarter results and improved full year outlook. Our financial performance in the first half of 26 has been driven by the new growth opportunities we captured in 2025 are normalizing this year." A congresswoman from the state of Washington recently asked some important questions that I think would be good to ask ourselves. Why are you asking taxpayers to pay for the profits of for-profit prison operators? GEO in 2025 alone had a record-breaking $254 million in net profit. That was 700% more when compared to 24. And the executives at GEO have these stock portfolios that are projecting increased profits of $3.1 billion. So what you're saying is that you want the taxpayers to foot the bill for the profits of these mega corporations that are using the imprisonment and incarceration of immigrants of every single immigration status, U.S. citizens, legal permanent residents, people who are here with work authorizations, and people who have committed zero crimes. And you have to ask yourself, who are these people that are in detention? And if you look at ICE's own statistics, 72% have zero criminal record. Zero. They want to make this over and over again about so-called criminal immigrants who are bombarding our country and taking over everything. And the reality is this country would collapse without the contribution of immigrants. We should be providing legal pathways for them. But this is kind of the sticky part, isn't it? This business of locking up innocent people is profitable. And the truth is that our tax money is paying the employees of the prisons, of these for-profit prisons. And I don't want to be in that business.
Thank you.
very much.
Anyone else for public comment? Hearing none, we will move on to agenda items. Nothing listed under old business. Gentlemen, anything to add under old business?
No.
Under new business, agenda items. Number 1, consider transportation plan with Moshannon Valley School District.
This is similar to the agreements we have with all of the school districts within the county. This is required as part of CYS, and this accounts for kids mostly in foster care and how those transportation arrangements will arise over there. So it's the same agreement that we have with the other schools within the districts.
And this is
Standard every year. We do.
standard, just a renewal.
Yes.
Do I have a motion to consider to approve the transportation plan with Moshannon Valley School District?
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Consider approval of estoppel certificate for 1300 Leonard Street, Clearfield.
Correct. We had received a request from a company that appears to be under a purchase and sales agreement for property at 1300 Leonard Street. That's part of the professional complex on Leonard Street. There's covenants and restrictions that the county had put in place several years ago. Those are good through the end of this year, and then they'll renew. This certificate just states that, to the best of the knowledge of the commissioners, that property is not currently in default under any of those covenants and restrictions, and that there's no monies for liens or assessments or anything of that against the property, as far as we know. And that's just something that they're looking for as part of their due diligence and moving forward.
Thank you for that clarification. I was not positive what an estoppel
And I'm glad
certificate
I'm
was.
glad you figured out exactly what it was.
Yeah, we
this was
usually
all
refer to it
about.
as a waiver, the
Yeah.
attorneys out of New York, which
Okay.
was fine, once they advised us what they were looking for, it helped, kind of get us
Yeah.
moving in the right direction.
Do I have a motion to approve the estoppel or waiver certificate for 1300 Leonard Street, Clearfield?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Properly moved and second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Consider purchase of service agreements with Sinclair Child Services for one, drug and alcohol prevention, the DAPP, and family reunification, independent living.
Three different, I
That's okay.
probably didn't put that in there correctly, but
It-
two
it's-
contracts, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
I was just
sorry.
gonna say, it's all with Sinclair, the different programs that we do, family reunification, independent living, we've had for several years. And then if you remember, about 2 years ago, we had done an RFP, for the drug and alcohol prevention program, as a new program. And that's obviously continuing, and from my understanding, it is done well, to provide, some additional services and support. So those are our standard agreements, for the upcoming fiscal
And we
year.
just had a meeting last week on the drug and alcohol prevention program, updating us on that. So can we do these together,
can do
or
it
should we do?
together.
Motion to approve purchase of service agreements. These are both with Sinclair Child Services, one for drug and alcohol prevention program and one for family reunification
And independent.
And
and
independent living.
independent living.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
And I will second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Consider resolution 2026, number 3, sale of surplus county property.
I'm gonna turn to
Well-
Lisa. I know we've been through it, but I think she is the specific.
Yes, so we have a refrigerator, a large refrigerator, that was used at the jail. Also, an ice machine. Both those, pieces of equipment are inoperable. We do have the ice storage bin that goes, it's a separate piece, but goes with the ice maker. It does work, but all three we're putting out to bid for purchase.
And those can all be bid on separately and need to be, returned separately for their
Yes.
consideration.
And all these will, the purchaser, the high bidder
Mm-hmm.
will be responsible for removal and transport. These are located at the Clearfield County Jail. Surplus commercial equipment in varying conditions. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2026, number 3, regarding the sale of surplus county property?
Yes, with one change. Does it
I-
not say that they're responsible for removal?
It does not.
Where are they out there now? I guess is that where they're gonna stay?
They are in the kitchen area of the jail.
Okay.
They are sold as is, where is,
Okay.
which would be common wording for, Thank-
Well, all items are being sold as is, as stated in the resolution, but
The pick-
should we add, purchaser is responsible for removal and,
I just didn't know if the warden was going to have those moved out of that area.
Well, that is my question too. Maybe coordinate with the warden. It might be that they pick up outside the secure
yeah,
area.
Yeah.
could they roll them out to the loading dock?
coordinate pickup with jail staff.
But certainly transport from the jail is their responsibility. Okay, well, I think we've got that. So I will make a
With
motion
a couple
with that.
tweaks to the wording as far as. But do I have a motion?
Yep.
Properly moved?
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
And item 5, advertise for snow removal services for the 2026-2027 season. I have this pretty well worked out, except for a couple wording details, but we want to make the approval to advertise today and be able to do this within probably the week.
Yes.
Do I have a motion to advertise for snow removal services?
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
And now, solicitor, do you have anything to add?
I don't necessarily. There's been some news that has come out regarding elections. I believe Commissioner Glass is going to speak on that. That's going to be something that we need to look into and determine how we're going to handle some of the changes that were put in place. But I'll defer to him for that update.
I appreciate that. Obviously, it's been big news, what happened yesterday with the Supreme Court, putting a hold on the injunction that was in place about potentially, the executive order directing the United States Postal Service to not deliver certain mail ballots unless they have a list of voters or something like that. And, you know, the state's position that just came out last night is that there are other injunctions still pending. And so at this time, nothing has changed in terms of the way, you know, we are anticipating handling absentee and mail-in ballots. But to be clear, the situation is very fluid. I mean, at some point, there's gonna be more litigation. At some point, the Supreme Court this was a temporary stay. They're gonna consider this, and they're probably gonna consider it pretty soon. And that, depending on how they rule, could have massive implications. And so I guess right now, nothing's changing, but we need to be prepared in case it does. If this were to go through, first of all, that would just really affect mail-in voting here. We talked about this before, just in general, we would probably consider, opening up more hours for, coming to the counter and filling in a mail-in ballot that way. We'll probably need temporary personnel if that were to happen. And look, we're not trying to borrow trouble, but we're also trying to be proactive and recognize the facts on the ground. We are one Supreme Court decision away from massive change. And if I may editorialize for just a moment, how many times in our country's history has the post office ever not delivered properly addressed mail? And I'm gonna say the answer is zero. And I think that this is absolutely ridiculous that this is even being considered. And I hope that the Supreme Court does the right thing. Now, whether you agree on the merits of this or not, and I know that's more of a political thing, I think we all agree that the timing of this is terrible. Any time between now and the election that you put in a major change like this, because they're talking about not just whether or not they'll deliver mail, they're talking about needs barcodes on the envelopes as part of this executive order. That would invalidate all the materials that we have already purchased in this county. So we would have to get all new materials. It's just a huge burden.
I think you've really hit on it there. The ramifications of this, while it may be hard to decipher, the ramifications are huge, and we're in a time crunch. It is.
100%. This is a bad idea. It's
It-
really a bad idea now. So, but we will keep the public informed as we get more information. Right now, it's business as usual, but we're monitoring closely along with the state. I guess that's really all we can
No,
say.
and we will do everything within our power here as the Board of Elections in Clearfield County. Everyone's vote will be counted and the process will go on. But right now, there are a number of questions. I know our Brian Norwood, our election director, is a little on edge today, but yeah.
As I
a lot of
understand
things
why.
in a
And
state
we've
of
seen it
flux.
in the past where we've been in flux with days, you know, leading up to the elections in different times. But again, yes, it's the timing that makes it.
And this one's a little bit bigger than
Oh,
those.
yes, those
Yeah,
are.
and the timing with the mail-in voting actually moves the election cycle earlier in the year. This becomes a crucial amount of a timing issue.
Well, the ballot, Brian's been working on the ballot. We were gonna start testing here probably in the next week or two and, you know, maybe start ordering the ballots in early September. Certainly no later than mid-September, so.
Last week, we thought we were ahead of the game and doing very well, and now there's a giant question mark
I
out
don't
there.
wanna order the ballots until I have a Supreme Court ruling. Why spend the money if we don't send them? But, that being said, there's no way they'll stop people from coming to the window, so we'll still have to be prepared for that. And I also will throw in there that the County Commissioners Association literally has been talking to the Department of State, and so we'll probably get more information from them too, because, I've been involved in several email chains this morning already about it.
This is an evolving situation.
Yes, I'm sure frankly, until we get a final ruling, we'll probably be commenting on this almost every meeting, with an update for the public.
Anything else, Solicitor Bozovich?
I do not have anything else.
Anything else to come before the board, gentlemen? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor? Aye.